sometimes in this sport things happen that make me wonder if I should actually be watching it. We've all experienced it, I'm sure. Darcy Ward, Lee Richardson, Danny Ayres, the list is just far too long for me to say and for me to remember. Bad life-changing injuries and life-ending crashes and circumstances. I think you can even include Kenny Carter in this as well. Now, for me, the one I felt the most was Janek Kudrona, a name many of you may not know, but I truly loved that guy. He was awesome. And once again, after the Tate Zisk incident, I'm having those feelings. I will, I'm sure, come to the conclusion I've always come to, that it can be just as dangerous crossing the road and that life is for living, so live it. But at the moment, all of my thoughts are with Tate, his family and friends. Get well soon, mate, from everyone connected with Speedway Tavern, only in Speedway. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And welcome to everybody to the Speedway Tavern, sponsored by So-Called Studios. You thought I'd forgot.
I did.
You did forget a few minutes ago.
I forgot everything 2 minutes ago. But anyway, yeah. So I think possibly that's the place to start.
Yeah, massive blow for Tate. He'd made such a big impression, and he, you know, he, by all accounts, it looked like it was going to be a really impressive debut for Bellevue. Has been superb for Workington as well. Yeah, so get well soon, Tate. Hopefully, it's not as severe as it sounds, and he'll be back racing again. Soon as. Obviously, it won't be this year. That's already confirmed that he's going to be racing again in 2024.
I mean, by all accounts, it was a horrible incident. I haven't seen it myself, but I'm not sure I want to. But yeah, there's not a lot else we can say, really, is there? Just get well soon, mate.
Yep.
Making his way in Speedway, long way from home as well.
It's always the way, isn't it? And of course, not the only one in the wars. Ty Whiffington, obviously, in the wars as well. This one sounds like it could be. It looks like it's a potentially serious one as well. After such a great first ride in the first GP, you thought maybe Ty's finally going to. Maybe this is going to be Ty's, not that he's finally going to get his season underway in the Grand Prix, and then. Having watched the incident a few times, I thought it was a terrible decision to exclude him for that. I don't see how you could have excluded him for that. I think he was just, he just got taken out. Yeah. Not intentionally, of course, but the most important thing, obviously, is that Ty gets himself fit as well. Obviously, that means he's out of the 2024 Speedway Nations. Yeah, which will, obviously, that starts next week when we're broadcasting. Yeah, during the first one.
That'll be fun. I'm sure we'll be able to keep you up to date, or you guys will keep us to date, probably most likely. So I mean, okay, we might as well go on with that theme of the Speedway of Nations. We were sort of speculating 2 weeks ago whether they would consider not picking Ty because his form has not been great. And that decision's been taken out of their hands now. So
I think he would have been picked. To be fair,
I think he would have been picked. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you can not pick Ty Woffington really. But he's got to be replaced. So I mean, first thing I'd like to put out to all of our listeners is who should replace Ty.
Well, I believe the other two riders in the squad are Tom Brennan and Adam Ellis. So it's whether there can be another one that can be called up in his place. I'm not totally sure of the rules on that one. But Tom Brennan, certainly his performance in the British final a few weeks ago will definitely...
On that very track.
Yeah. Obviously it's a track he knows well. Anyway, he's a rider he's surely you would think he's going to be in the box seat. I mean, to be fair, Adam Ellis rode well in the British final as well, of course. But Steve Wall rode well in the British final. Although I don't think he's going to be getting picked. To be fair, so
okay. So, we're going to have to come through to all of this. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Early shout rider of the week, Freddie. Very, very honourable shout to Rowan Tongate. I think both of those are in my head. I haven't decided which one yet. Simon Corbett, Brummies were dire at home to Kings Lynn. I'm not sure dire is the right word.
It was flat, wasn't it?
It was a bit flat. Who well deserved the victory, and Browne predicted it. I mean, of course, you could see it happening all the way through, even though we was ahead for a good portion of that match.
Yeah. It just always, and it was a good crowd as well. It just always seems to be the way with Birmingham, doesn't it? When they get a good crowd, it just seems like they fluff the lines.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot of things about the track being too slick, and I think it rode like that. But I've got to be. I mean, I was on the track. I've not pulled as much dirt back on that track for a very long time, so I don't understand. But it did ride slick. I can't deny that.
I think really Kings Lynn were the better side on the day. I mean, even though they were behind for quite large periods of it, I just felt. You just felt that they were going to have enough strength in depth. I mean,
they were very lucky in their guests. I mean, Tungate was just
Tungate was brilliant. I mean, he was superb when he rode for Oxford right at the start of the season. And he's having a brilliant season, but was even more impressive. That's nice. I think really setting the tone was Freddie obviously finishing last in his first race.
Yeah,
that
flattened him from such hope, and then. Yeah. And he just didn't look anywhere in that first race as well. It wasn't just that he lost it; he was right at the back, and he wasn't.
He was well off the pace, wasn't it? I mean, he recovered from that, but I did wonder as well. I mean, it was interesting because obviously we would have mentioned this last week if we'd have been on.
Dave Twine said it was his bike the first race. That was that was the problem. So,
what was your opinion of the starting lineup? You think maybe the team?
I'll be totally honest. The minute I saw it, I thought, "Why?"
Yeah, I couldn't understand it.
I didn't get the reason for it. If somebody could have explained to me, we're doing it because. Yeah. If the reason was because they wanted a strong start and a 5-1 in the first heat, well, that backfired
straight away. Yeah.
But.
I mean, you don't.
Well, I mean, we've been saying we said it before. I mean, let's big ourselves up just for once. We said it before. That Worrell needed to move to number 2 because that was where he was. That's his most comfortable position in this league. And then they moved him to. I'm not saying that we had anything to do with that, by the way, but they moved him to 2, and his form picked up.
Yeah.
And then they moved him out of 2, and it's gone back down again into number 5, which is a hard place to ride anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're always riding with reserves, about 90% of the rides you're riding with reserves. So you're the man.
Yeah, I thought Pavlichki rode a bit better.
He did, yes. He couldn't have rode much worse. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But no, he looked more on the pace and more. Yeah. So.
But it's fair to say as well, Kings Lynn obviously had a tremendous win the previous week against Oxford, didn't they?
We've met them at the wrong time.
Had a little bit of momentum on their side, I think.
They had 4 on the trot, did they?
Yeah.
So, I think we met them at the wrong time. But such high hopes. And now, let's be honest about it, from Birmingham, their target is to get out of that wooden spoon spot. Really.
It's got to be, yeah.
I still feel it's a good team. Now, with Freddie in the team, I still feel that it's a good team. But we will find out on Thursday what the riding order is, because that did not work, clearly.
No,
clearly did not work.
I don't know who they made it, whether that was Sam or I would imagine it would have been Sam and Chris Adams, wouldn't it? As they're obviously the.
I know who the decision was.
Yeah,
and it because a lot of people. I'll get this straight out. A lot of people have said, "Well, that must have been Lawrence Rogers' decision because it was such a." It wasn't Lawrence Rogers' decision.
I don't think Lawrence has got anything to do with the team selection at all now.
He hasn't at all. Yeah. So we can put that one into touch. Craig Smee, I witnessed the horrific crash from Tate Zik last night, and it's one of the worst crashes I've seen live. The bang when he hit the fence was horrific. I have no doubt the air fence saved him at Bellevue last night. Dread to think of the outcome had Seymour.
Oh, sorry.
Had it been a solid wooden fence, get well soon, Tate. Yeah.
The air fence is, without doubt, question, is one of the best things that's ever been brought into Speedway in the last 25 years.
We should talk about Mushlak as well.
Officially gone from Kings Lynn.
Yeah.
In other words, and elsewhere, water is wet. So. I think that was inevitable, wasn't it?
Yes. In other news.
Yeah. I mean, he's been, riding well on the continent, but not well enough to ride in the UK. That just didn't. I mean, I mean, on paper at the start of the season, that looked a really exciting sizing for Kings Lynn, but. No, sometimes you have to draw the line. occasionally they couldn't have. Well, they wouldn't have been able to keep getting away with it, unfortunately. So,
an awfully big win for Bellevue against Ipswich last night. The Take Zisk incident aside, they just
Ipswich obviously maybe now beginning to sort of I think the fact that they've had such a period now without Jason Doyle, but still haven't replaced him. Maybe it caught up with them a little bit last night. I mean, it was always going to be difficult anyway.
They made a few sounds trying to sign Bartek Schmarschlik.
Yeah.
But he's basically said, not at the moment.
Yeah. I don't think he needs to ride over here, does he, to be fair? So.
Craig Smith said, would Mujlak be looking to go back to Sheffield with Tyre being out probably most of the season? Is that even allowed? It's probably allowed, but my life, that would really be taking the nick.
I don't know who owns his contract now, to both me. Like, obviously he started with Wolves, but he obviously wouldn't be a Wolves asset now, I don't think. I think he may well be a Swindon asset if they've still got assets.
They've still got assets. He's probably a BSPI asset, if not. Interesting. It's going to be a very, very interesting match for Birmingham and for Kings Lynn tomorrow.
Yeah.
A must-win for both.
On Thursday even.
It's Tuesday today, isn't it?
Yeah.
We haven't done Wednesday for a while. So that's a must-win for both teams, you would think.
Yeah, Kings Lynn will obviously... the pressure's on Kings Lynn now, isn't it? Because they're going to be expected to get the result, aren't they? So, Birmingham obviously haven't... there's no wins on the road for Birmingham obviously so far this season. They've been close in a couple of matches, but that would have been a match that a few weeks ago.
Not many wins at home.
Yeah, well,
let's be honest about it.
They've been competitive at home. That's been the difference from last season. I think last season, for a long period of time, they weren't even competitive at home. Yeah, and that's you can't really have that. But
it's a good run over this next month. We've got 3 home matches. We need to win them all.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's good as well that they're going to have a period of where they've got home matches every week because it's been frustrating the last few weeks, hasn't it? I think that hasn't helped Birmingham. They've had some great wins at home. They get the great win against Bellevue, and then they go 2-3 weeks without a meeting. Great win against Ipswich, and then they go weeks again without a meeting. So it's just there needs to be a bit more continuity.
Simon Corbett says with 6 teams riding, getting guests is limited. For once, that's not a problem that we've got. We have a full team.
It is, yeah. That's very true,
which is nice to report. There are lots of big rumours last week at Birmingham and Leicester tracks and talk of town that Wolves could be returning to Monmouth Green, but nothing from CVS or club.
Well, I think I can quite categorically say there's absolutely no chance of going back into... If anybody's seen any recent photographs of the place, the track is now completely gone. The only thing that's left there now is the pits. That's all that's there. So I don't.
And most of the showers are in Birmingham.
Yeah, there's still. I think there's still some equipment at Monmouth because Entone have obviously allowed CVS to keep a lot of it there, whilst obviously he's looking for a new track, which is very kind of him. It's a shame he couldn't have let us keep the track there, but that's another story. But
given they haven't actually done anything with it, as far as I'm aware,
apart from stick a load of grass on it. So no, as I say, I mean. If anything's going to happen at Wolves, it's going to have to happen for next year. It's going to have to happen pretty blooming quick, as in now, really. But I think at the moment you're
possibly
looking
the ship has sailed.
I think certainly for next year. I think probably 2026, maybe even 2027. But
yeah, I mean it depends. I mean Birmingham got going pretty quick, but they'd got a ready-made stadium. They just had to cut the track, and put that in.
Yeah, one thing I can pretty much guarantee is that I don't think anything will be said by Wolves until there's something definite in black and white that there's a chance of getting something. Because there's going to have to be a lot of work. I mean, if it's a new place, there's going to have to be planning permission. That's going to take 12 months. It's not just a case of just slapping a few lines on a piece of paper and handing it into reception at the council house. You've got to cover literally everything. Yeah. So
Craig Smith says the fence is gone and track pretty much grown over. I can't see why they'd pump money back into getting a track back at Monmouth Green. Well, that's sort of echoing what you said.
Monmouth Green's ship has sailed as I mean, obviously to a place over 33 years of my life spent there on Monday nights. So many great memories there, but that's unfortunately now that is. Thank you.
Yeah, he does. Anyway,
still waiting for the funny 5 you heard me.
So, shall we move on to last weekend's Grand Prix?
Why not?
A fairly okay Grand Prix.
It got better, didn't it?
Yeah.
Certainly, it ended in it with a classic, didn't it, in the final.
Yeah, I mean, we'll come on to that, I'm sure. I mean, I'd like to just... I believe this is the first time that Birmingham have been riding with a current GP winner. I know we've had Chris Harris riding for us, but he wasn't a current G. He wasn't in the
Martin Smolinski won the New Zealand Grand Prix, didn't he? But I don't think he was riding for Birmingham. I think it was the season after, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we decided it was the season after last time we spoke about that. So that's nice. Yeah, well, I've now brought it up. We'll talk about that last race, which was I think that rivaled the 2007 Bomber one at Cardiff for excitement.
We've just had the anniversary of that, haven't we, as well? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 17 years. Last Friday, I think it was 17 years ago.
Wow.
Crikey. No, it was you felt watching it, he's going to do this, Freddy.
You could see the speed.
He just had the speed he had, and in fairness to Smolsdick, he gave him plenty. He wasn't dirty with him. I know he has had a reputation for being tough in the past, but he gave him room. He didn't wave him through, but he certainly gave him the room to work with. But it was absolutely super. It was a superb performance, really. He rode well all the way through the meeting, to be fair, but the final, I mean, that was vintage Freddie. That was
teenage Freddie, as they say.
Yeah, that was superb. Yeah, it really was. And
you see, all you have to do to win a GP is come and ride for Birmingham. That's there you go. Yeah, it was great, and I think we was muttering about it before we went on air, wondering whether, and we don't think we've ever seen Bartek Schmarzlik get taken from behind in a final to lose a GP. It's always been the other way around.
I can think of plenty of occasions when it's been the other way around, but not when he's been sort of...
He's been hunted down.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, he still extended his lead at the top of the championship, so he won't be... Yeah. He won't be too... I mean, obviously, he would have loved to have won that Grand Prix because it's
that's
his
the
hometown,
problem. Everybody else is running over each other and getting in the way of each other. And he's just
clearly got
consistency all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Jack Holder obviously had a tough night, only 9 points. Robert Lambert had a nightmare, didn't he? Only
just
3
mentioned
points.
that Lambert was shocking at Gorzo, said Simon Corbett.
Mikkel Mikkelsen has impressed me at times this season. He rode well again on...
Kai Helkenbeck had
he was better. Leon Madsen had probably his best performance of the season as well, didn't he? He got 14 points, but he's still obviously, way down the standings now.
You have to wonder whether all of those riders would be a possibility for Ipswich.
Yeah. And Freddie up to 4th now. You consider he's had a poor season so far, but he obviously had a better night in Prague.
And as Pete Clark says, nice to see him with a smile on his face. Craig Smee, is anyone going to get near Bartog again this season? Another discussion on the terraces at Bellevue last night about whether Emil and Laguta would be giving him much more of a challenge for the title. I'm not sure whether Saifutinov would at the moment. I don't think his form is as good.
I was thinking about this the other day with that season that Laguta won the championship, because it almost adds a little bit of mistake, doesn't it? Because he had a brilliant season that year, but he only won it by 3 points. Yeah. So was that a one-off? You don't know. Would he have been able to raise his game to that sort of level again?
Know, really.
I don't think we'll know, because unfortunately I don't think there's any chance of either of them getting back in the series anytime soon. No. Which is, obviously it's personal matter of opinion. Personally, I mean, I don't think what happened really has got nothing to do with them. So
keep politics out of sport.
So
they can't really, unfortunately. Will Woffy get the wild card next year? Asked Clive Woody. That's an interesting...
there's some talk that his season might be over, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
so it is a relevant question, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people were a bit surprised that he got the pick last year, because he's not really been anywhere near even winning GPs, has he, in recent seasons? No.
So, and of course, we've got 2 other riders in the GPs, which we presume will still be there because they're in there or thereabouts at the moment.
And his form this season hasn't been great either. So it's not entirely impossible that we might have seen the last of Ty in the Grand Prix, which would be. Yeah, it'd be a shame. He's had a great career in the Grand Prix, 3 World Championships, but it would be.
I wouldn't put it past him to get back in if he didn't get.
Without doubt, but it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be difficult for him because there's obviously a lot of the qualification for it now is pretty tough as well. And there's obviously we've got how far away Tom Brennan is from potentially challenging to get into the GPs. I think he's maybe another year or 2 away from it yet. But you've got all the other ones that are coming up behind him as well. So it's going to be tough for someone who's probably maybe at his best days have already gone.
Will Doyle get a wild card? Because he's another one that's in that position, and that's the problem. That's a problem for Ty Woffington, of course.
I think Jason Doyle's probably got more of a chance of getting in simply because of his form at the start of the season, because he was looking like a potential winner.
I mean, they're all getting silly now. Will Lebedevs get a wild card?
Will I get one?
I'll give you one. A wild card, that is. Dave Albrighton says, what's going on? The amount of riders getting injured. King, Doyle. Is that Clint supposed to be? Ty and
Nikolai Clint, the other one he's out for the season as well, isn't he?
And Ziskas, Bellevue last night. I don't know. I have not seen any problems, particularly with tracks this year. I think it happens from time to time. Usually happens to Birmingham every year. In the last few seasons, but I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. I did look at Jason Doyle's crash again. It was a pretty horrible crash, and that was that sort of ended his season. I wonder how much of that was down to the conditions. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have been putting stuff on about the King's Lynn track, about the standard of safety there. You don't really want to be delving too deep into these things like that, but hopefully, certainly now with Phil Morris aboard, maybe there's something being put in place to sort of look at these crashes and see whether there's any patterns or anything, which we've discussed before on here.
We have, yes. So. Yeah, we said exactly that people, that, because it really, and I heard it again last night, the phrase that I hear time and time again, and I just hate it, in which is to say, oh, well, injuries are part and parcel of the sport. Mm-hmm. Well, they shouldn't be.
Well, they are.
Yeah, but they are. But as soon as you say, "Oh, well, they're just part," you've stopped looking to find out whether there's something that you can do.
Yeah.
And so I just think that's something. It's all about collecting data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and finding out what happened when this happened, was the track. All of that stuff. But anyway, Craig Smith talking about Dar says, I think he did enough prior to his injury to get a pick as he was flying. Had he started off badly like Ty, then I'd say no. And, good question. How does Pawlicki get in the Polish 5 squad?
I was a bit surprised, must admit, when I saw that myself. I don't know I'm not so sure what his form's been like in Poland, to be honest. Incidentally, we have got a meeting going on at the moment down on the coast, obviously Plymouth
supposed against to be quite a good meeting, I believe.
Edinburgh. It is currently Plymouth 18, Edinburgh 10. And the aggregate scoreline, Plymouth 66, Edinburgh 52. So Plymouth fairly comfortable there. They have had a delay. Well, obviously, there's been an issue with the electrics down there, I think, at the moment, due to an issue with the tapes.
Right.
But that's obviously that's now apparently the bikes are now being warmed up. They are on heat 5. Josh Pickering, by the way, has broken the track record as well.
Plymouth.
52:30 is the track record at Plymouth now.
Janowski's not riding well, says Clive Woodier.
He wasn't great last night for Oxford, I must admit.
No.
He had a great performance at King's Lynn the other week, didn't he? But he's not really got going in recent weeks. He's been, he had a tough Grand Prix as well, didn't he? So.
Right, big little missive from Craig Smee. Most of the crashes have actually been racing incidents, I feel, this season. I think, sort of thinking back, that's probably true, actually. Mm-hmm. However, Rue got some stick last night for riding dangerously, and he did stick his wheel out and let the bike run across the corner and squeeze him up against the fence. My personal opinion is you can't do that, Bellevue. You have to leave racing room because of the speed generated round the place. I think Roux could have left room and rode a bit naive. I mean, I like the fact that you said he rode a bit naive, because I wouldn't like to think anybody's shoved somebody up the fence.
I don't think so. I think
sure that's
by all accounts, Tate and Keenan Roux are really, really close mates, and he'll obviously be absolutely cut up about it as well. Keenan Roux, I'm sure of that. So I've seen instances where in the past where I think there has been a bit of malice involved, but
yeah,
obviously. But I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen this particular incident, but hopefully. I'm pretty certain in this case that
it does happen. I'm sure it does. I mean, Chris Morton, in the Alan Graham's. Let's not rake over those grounds.
I could think of one against the current Birmingham team manager as well that I was at, and there was an absolute uproar on the terraces when it happened.
Okay, you'll have to. I'm not sure which one that was, but okay. Sobering thought. This actually made me, when I read it, I go, "Oh my God, are you sure?" Sobering thought for Birmingham supporters this coming Friday. It will be 16 years since Joe Thurley died. Joe Thurley, the ex-manager of Birmingham. And he came back when we opened up in 2007 and was the clerk of the course.
Yeah.
16 years, wow.
Yeah, in probably Birmingham's last really dominant successful spell at senior level, wasn't it, in the 70s? I know they had that spell, obviously, in the National League, but obviously the back-to-back league championships, 74 and 75 back-to-back league championships, and obviously the cup win against Eastbourne, which you will obviously
always
remember that one.
Roll out whenever I get the chance, which don't get a chance so much these days, because obviously there is no Eastbourne, and what a sad state that is.
Yeah.
Well done to William Carnes on his third place in the SGP3.
Yep.
Okay. Well done, says Pete Clark.
So what is the SGP?
It's
a different class.
It's not SGP1 or SGP2.
So it's SGP3.
It's effectively the under 18s.
Yeah.
Not under 18s. Might be under 17s. I think.
Somebody out there will tell us.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So you've got the SGB2 that I believe Leon Flint is contesting and doing okay. You were saying that, going back to the Kings Lynn match, we're just going to go here, there and everywhere, I think. He had a better night as well, Flint.
Yes, he did. He rode a lot better, didn't he? He's had a tough season, hasn't he? He's not really sort of hit the heights, I think, that a lot of people expected to on going back to Birmingham, but that was certainly, and he's a rider. I mean, obviously we both know him well, and he's a rider that sort of beats himself up a little bit too. He's a bit too eager to do that, isn't he?
Yeah, really, you can hear him shouting at himself under his helmet when he doesn't do well.
Yeah. Under 16s on 250cc's, yes, thanks.
Apparently he wasn't very well. Somebody told me that he was a bit poorly, so maybe that helped him be a bit more relaxed on the bike. I don't
Who knows?
Because that's what I've said before, isn't it? That he needs to relax a little bit more. I think he's trying too hard at the moment. It's the under 16s on the 250s is the SGP3 for your information, Chris.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Craig Smee says the Speedway Nation's coming up. I think the GB team has pretty much picked itself now with Ty being out. Bewley and Lambert. I think Brennan gets the third spot. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Well, we'll do, yep.
If those are the three riders that are picked, which I would imagine they are, is it going to be Brennan in the third spot? Or are you going to box clever and put Bewley or Lambert in the third spot, who can then take rides here, there and everywhere, taking sort of advantage of people that are out of form and etc.
I think it's a gamble to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gamble that if it works, well done, you get a slap on the back for it.
Because the problem we've got is that all the other teams will have been racing on that track.
Yep.
And we won't have. I imagine they'll give them practice, but
you would have liked to have think so, wouldn't you? But let's talk about the Speedway Nations actually now. Obviously, now that we've got onto that, because of course it is.
We will come on to Simon Corbett's remark there. I do want to talk about
semi-finals. Two semi-finals, of course. The first semi-final will be next Tuesday. Obviously, we will be following it live on air. So that one is Poland, Sweden, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, and Ukraine. And semi-final 2, which will be on the Wednesday, that is Australia, Denmark, USA, Czech Republic, Latvia, Slovenia, and Norway. So Poland have gone for, they're obviously led by Bartosz Smarslik, Dominik Kubera, Patrick Dudek, Maciej Janowski and Piotr Pawlicki. That's their squad. Sweden have gone with Freddie Lindgren, Kim Nielsen and Oliver Berntsson, and double Swedish champion Jakob Torsell. He's their other rider. Timo for Finland, you've got Timo Lahti, of course, who's he's obviously he's switched to Finland, so he's obviously gone from Finland to Sweden.
Okay. Okay.
So they're captained by Jesse Mutsoren and
Speedway.
Antti Volas, Tero Arnia, of course, ex-Birmingham, I think, wasn't he, Tero Arnia? Nicholas Sario and Otto Reich, they're all in the squad for Finland. Germany, they're led by Kai Huckenbeck and Norik Bladorn, and they've got Eric Riss, Kevin Volbert and Valentin Gruber as they complete their list. For the French, you've got David Balago, Mathieu Tresario, Stephen Goré, Tino Bouen and Jordan Dubrand. Italy, Paco Castagna, of course the son of the current race commission director Armando Castagna, and of course ex-Birmingham, along with Nico Cavati, Nicholas Vicentin,
Also an ex-Birmingham,
and Matteo Bonicelli. That's there for. And Ukraine, Andrei Kolhov, Nazar Barnitsky and Marko Levishin, Stanislav Melenchuk and Stanislav
I think a round of applause.
Well done, yeah.
I thought they did.
I think you could have pronounced the Italians a bit better.
Could have done, yeah.
Nico,
I could have pronounced the English riders better as well,
Yeah.
couldn't I?
There you go, not bad. 6 out of 10.
Okay, come on, shall we pick a winner?
Well, it's a bit easier for that one, I think, isn't it?
I'm talking about the whole
Yeah.
competition. We'll pick a winner, who then probably won't qualify for it.
Well, we should look at the other semi-final first, shouldn't we, really? Obviously go through all the other teams as well. So,
Go on
in
then.
semi-final 2, you've got Australia, they've got Jack Holder, Max Frick, Jonathan Lidsey, Brady Kurtz and Ryan Douglas.
I mean, that's a strong pack, right?
It is.
there. That's
And
a strong pack.
Yeah. Denmark, they've got Mikkel Mikkelsen, Anders Thompson, Rasmus Jensen, Mats Hansen and Andres Lager. That's the Danish squad. For the Czechs, you've got Jan Kivek, Vaclav Milic, Anand Bedana, Daniel Klimer and Eddie Kramer. That's their side. For Latvia, you've got Andrei Lebedevs, Francis Gusts, Jevingers Kovastovs, Danilas Kolivistoks and Oleg Smilyanovs. I don't know whether I've got any of those names right. They're difficult. There's some of these names. I do apologise if I've got some of these names.
I don't think it's
What do you mean? Yeah, I think it's fairly certain that you've got some of those
them wrong,
names.
Yeah.
For the USA, you've got, what does that say? Lou Becker, Gina Manzarez, Brock Nickel, Alex Martin, and Slater Lightcliffe. That's a great American name, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
for Norway, you've got Malias, Matthias Pollestad, Lasse Madland, Fredriksson, Glenn Moore, Truls Kamhog, and Magnus Klipper. And for Slovenia, you've got Anze Gramek, Maciej Ivanic, and Denis Stož, the veteran Denis Stož. So that's the full lineup then for the two semi-finals in the Speedway Nations. No, don't do that. That was totally undeserved. That was.
Yeah, I agree. Actually,
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get up to the first one, which I think was a better performance. But Pete Clark says, "Are you reading those in Welsh?"
Well, I do have a caravan in Wales, so that's probably picked
I
that up
think we
from
should
there.
make him read them all again.
After
They're
6 points, is
saying,
that all?
Bellevue have put up temporary stand for the Speedway Nations.
I did notice on some of the clips from that they showed on Eurosport last night that there's
new stands there.
yeah. So we were talking about going for a winner, weren't we?
You see, I don't think the Poles are in great form, apart from Schmarzlik. I don't think they're in great form.
Well, they haven't won it yet, have they?
No.
Speedway Nations. It's they don't seem that. It always seems to be with the Poles that they don't seem to do quite as well in events where they have to actually team ride. because obviously there's no team riding in the World Cup because it is individuals, even though you're racing as part of a team.
Yeah, I think that if Jason Doyle had been fit, Australia would be a shoo-in for it. And I think even now they've got a good. They can pick a good three-man squad out of those riders.
Yeah, they could. Jack Holder, Max Frick. Max Frick's having a fantastic season, isn't
Brady
he?
Kurtz.
Yeah, John Lindsay obviously knows the track, as does Brady Kurtz as well. Ryan Douglas always goes well there. That's his sort of track.
So I think their biggest headache is going to be picking three from that lot.
Yeah. The Danes, obviously, Mikkel Mikkelsen and Anders Thompson. Anders Thompson, of course, not in the Grand Prix anymore, but...
plenty of experience.
Yeah,
there.
Rasmus Jensen, who's, at one time looked like he was going to be a real prospect.
Yeah.
He sort of fell off the
Plateaued
wayside
a
a little bit, isn't he? But never rule the Danes out. And of course, with Nicky Pedersen in charge, he's obviously going to be, want to win just as much as he was when he was racing.
I'm sure.
Team. I'll tell you, it could be a bit of a danger in the first semi-final. That's Germany. Kai Quebec is having a very good season. Norrie Dorn knows the track, knows the Bellevue track. Eric Riss, Kelvin Vulbert and Valentin Grosbois, of course, he was at Birmingham, wasn't he? Or was he going to start for Birmingham in 2020 and, of course, the season that didn't happen?
Yeah, I think that I'm not in touch. Somebody out there will let us know.
I think he was, yeah. But they could be a bit of, I think they could be a real spoiler, Germany. Yeah. Looking at that sort of, and they are emerging, isn't it? I mean, they've all, Germany is a speedo nation who've never been particularly dominant, have they? I mean, obviously Mullery was world champion in '83.
Karl May was it?
Gerd Riss as well. But that's they could be a bit of a danger in that one. But
and Lawrence is shouting at me again. Valentine rode for us. Okay.
Yeah, take the caps lock off, Lawrence. I think you've got to go for Poland to win that semi-final, and I will probably go in second place. Go on, I'll go for Germany.
Okay.
I'll be bold and I'll go for Poland and Germany to get through.
I can't remember all the teams, but that sounds reasonable to me.
I'm not reading them out again. That's what you did.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah. And I think the second one, I was just reading that was good radios. We all just stopped talking to listen to read what Lawrence had written. I just want to go cut to the chase and pick the winner, and I'm going to say it for the whole thing, and I'm going to say Australia. I have to. I think it's going to be Australia, Poland, GB.
I will go. I do agree with you actually on Australia. I'll go for Australia to win it. I'll go for Denmark second.
Okay.
And Poland third. But what we'll do obviously we'll talk about next week's. We'll talk about that in next week's show because obviously that will be part of the predictions and the prediction league. Which of course next Tuesday's match will be part of as well. So we will obviously get onto that.
Yep, absolutely. We're close to it. Just a few more things on here. Pete Clark says he dug Valentine out from under the fourth bend fence. I remember that now. Plymouth meeting got no tapes.
Yeah, it's 21-19 now in favour of Plymouth in that one after hit 7. So.
What does that mean? Is that when there's no tapes? Just not working? Or?
Yeah, the tape's not working.
Oh, right.
So they have a green light.
They have the green light, they go on the green light. And
hated that.
Yeah.
Hate that. I know a lot of riders don't like it, but what can you do?
I prefer a bit of knicker elastic and do that. But has Smolinski retired now or just really dropped off? I think
he's still riding.
I think he's still riding, but I believe he
rode in the Grand Prix, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yes,
he did.
Yeah, he was a reserve in the GP. Yeah.
I believe he has a sort of long-standing injury that the doctor said don't overdo it.
Yeah.
So he's not overdoing it.
Probably still overdo it in terms of talking, but because he did like to talk, didn't he, Martin? So.
He was great.
Yeah,
he was great. Australia, GB, Poland, says Simon Corbett. So, there was one little comment I want that somebody miles back. I'll see if I can remember it. Did Sam make a mistake? Letting he's gone now.
The team riding order
have 4 rides.
Steve
Worrell. Yeah. There you go. That's considering the moments I had before, forgetting things. That's the first one I forgot.
You actually forgot the name of the show.
I forgot the name of the show.
Even though it's on the board.
On the board behind me. It's been a week and
I'll tell you what, next week, when he comes in, you ought to turn it round and see whether he knows.
Yeah. Okay, Steve. Anyway.
No, that's my brother.
It's all over the screen as well.
So, I ask your opinion. Was it a mistake letting Worrell have 4 rides?
Yeah, I wouldn't have given him 4 rides.
I agree, but Who would you have used to replace him?
Pavlicki.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, Pavlicki was better last week, wasn't he? I don't think he was brilliant, but he was better.
No, yeah. And I don't like saying that. I don't, because I like Steve Worrell. He comes up and says hello to the track staff.
Yeah, he's a nice bloke, Steve.
Yeah, he's and his form recently has been so much better.
Yeah.
While he was riding at number 2. I'd love to know what the riding order is.
One or two of the cynics might say he was riding better when there was the danger of the sack hanging over him. But I don't think there was ever any chance of him going. To be fair, that was an opinion of other people that are around me, not my opinion. So
yeah, and that wouldn't have affected his performance in the British final anyway, which we've spoken about before. Okay, so I guess we're up to that time of the year when we have a look. Time of the year, time of the night, time of the evening. I'm going home now. Shall we have a look at the table? Do I want to have a look at the table?
You probably... you're still behind, obviously. But, yeah, you're not... so you are...
Mid-table.
16th, and
I'm getting nosebleed.
Yeah.
13th.
Yeah. So we've still got Simon Corbett in the lead on 99, Matt on 94, Rich on 94, Dave on 93, Gav Lilly on 93, Brian on 92. He slipped out a bit, hasn't he, I think?
Yes, yeah.
Elliot on 92, Gordon on 92. There we go.
Okay, then let's go.
Ooh.
We've got a few matches to get through this week, I think, so we should start. Let's start off then tomorrow night. In the Championship, Poole against Edinburgh.
I think it's me to start.
Mm-hmm.
Poole, Edinburgh. I'm going to say Poole by 10 points.
Poole by 20.
12.
Okay.
Okay, then on Thursday night in the Premiership, Kings Lynn against Birmingham.
Okay, that's up to you. Be kind.
Kings Lynn by 8.
That's quite kind.
Kings Lynn by 14.
Birmingham by 4. The hell? What the hell?
Okay, next up you've got Leicester against Sheffield.
Pete Clark says, I have overtaken someone. They must have had a mare. What was that again, sorry?
Leicester against Sheffield.
Interesting.
That's what you mean, isn't it?
I'm afraid so.
Leicester by 2.
Leicester by 10.
They did blooming well last night, didn't they, Sheffield, considering they were under strength. Yeah. But Leicester's going to be... Oxford's not quite... Oxford's a bit more of a fair track, isn't it, really? I'll go for Leicester by 6. Oxford against Ipswich. Oxford will want to bounce back, won't they? Because they got an absolute hammering at Ipswich last week.
So much depends on guests.
Yeah.
So much depends on guests.
And Ipswich will be smarting after the beating they got at Bellevue.
Yeah. So. I've got to do it at some point. I'm not going to go draw.
You did get one draw last week, and it was coming as a draw, didn't it?
Which one was that? I forgot.
Not last week. It was the week before. So, yeah.
Why have I not climbed up above everybody?
Because you're not very good.
That was it. Yes.
Oxford against Ipswich. Ooh, I'll go for.
It's up to me actually. I've done a draw, haven't I? Sorry.
Ipswich by 4. I'll go for on that one.
Okay. Come on, you've got to go Oxford by 4, haven't you? I've gone a draw. He's got Ipswich by 4, so you've got to go Oxford by 4. That's all 3 results there, isn't it?
Oxford by 8.
Oh, okay.
Edinburgh against Redcar is the next one.
Edinburgh against Redcar. It's up to you.
Edinburgh by 8.
Edinburgh by 6.
I'll go Edinburgh by 10, which seems to be my favourite number today.
Next up in the Championship as well is Scunthorpe against Glasgow.
That's up to you, Chris.
Glasgow by 6.
Scunthorpe by 6.
Scunthorpe by 10. Not had a great season so far, are they, Glasgow?
No.
Then on Saturday, Mildenhall against Sheffield in the National Development League.
Apparently Ipswich have got Nichols as a guest. It's Ipswich.
Yeah.
That's not Jason Doyle, is it?
No. With all due respect to Scott.
Okay, what was that again, sorry?
Middlesbrough against Sheffield.
Middlesbrough by 6.
Middlesbrough by 10.
Middlesbrough by 10.
Okay, also on Saturday in the Championship, Workington against Plymouth.
That's up to you, Chris. Matt?
Workington
Steve?
by 12. No, that's my brother. So.
Okay.
No, it is actually my brother.
Is it really?
It is actually,
okay.
Workington by 4.
Workington by 10, my favourite.
Okay, then on Monday, Birmingham against Oxford.
Amazing.
That is gonna be a cracking
That's
match,
a
by
massive
the way.
meeting. This is a massive meeting for Birmingham. This
Yeah,
is,
I mean, the likes of Bomber Harris, of course.
Rowan Tungate,
Yeah,
back
Rowan
again.
Tungate, yeah. See, that's a massive meeting. You would think Freddie Lindgren would like to put some manners on him, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll go.
I'll go Birmingham by 4.
Okay. I'm going to say... I've gone mad. I'm going to say Birmingham by 10.
I'll go Oxford by 2.
Just got this
I'll
feeling.
go Oxford by 2 on that one.
I've gone
And
mad.
finally, first semi-final of the Speedway Nation. So the format is the top 2 nations in each semi-final will go straight into the final, and third and fourth place countries will compete in a final qualifier. So we will go for the top 4.
Top
and
4.
What we'll do, if you get the winner, you get 1 point. You get the top 4, 2 points. If you get the top 4 in the correct order, you get 4 points. Okay.
Okay. That was as clear as something.
Mud.
Yeah.
Give us all the teams again.
Yeah.
Right. This might take a few minutes.
Just go through the teams.
Okay. So we got in semi-final 1, which is the one that we're looking at now. We will do the other ones on next week's show. Poland, Sweden, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, Ukraine. Germany. Did you get France as well?
How many teams was there?
7.
I'm missing 2. I've got Poland,
Sweden,
France, Italy, Germany,
Finland,
and
Germany,
I got Germany.
France,
got France.
Italy,
Sweden,
Italy, got that.
Ukraine,
Poland.
Yay.
Yay.
There you go.
Okay, so I've got to go first then.
Okay.
So
Top 4 then.
I'm going to go Poland.
Yep.
I'm going to go Germany.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go to Sweden.
Yep.
Are we doing 4?
Yeah. And I'm going to go just Italy.
Okay. Who's next? Me?
You? Yes.
Yep. Okay, so I'll go for Poland, Germany, Sweden, Finland.
Ukraine's another.
Yep.
I'm going to go Poland, Sweden,
Yep.
Finland. So Craig is Poland, Sweden, Germany.
Yep. So just Lawrence has obviously just pointed out there. Third and fourth will go into a race off in heat 22 in the semi-final. So the one that wins that one will
Go to the
get their
final.
last spot there. So obviously
And somebody asked earlier whether the Speedway of Nations was on
Eurosport. Yes, it
It
is.
is on.
Yeah, they'll all be on.
Okay.
I should be able to get it on here, so I will be able to watch it while we're on the show next week.
So
and
we ain't
then-
going to be doing a lot of talking then,
No,
are
probably
we?
just be-
Whoa, ooh.
I'll be partying in the street.
Okay, and
It's now 26:20 at Plymouth.
there's a bit of a meeting going on.
Just a bit, yeah.
Brian Reason says Scott Nichols has not let Ipswich, which is down, scoring double points for most of his guest bookings this season, and he does know that track very
Yeah,
well,
he
to be
does.
fair. Okay. And the semi-final 2.
Well, semi-final 2 is next Thursday,
Oh,
so we can probably do that next week.
Okay, so we're at the end of that.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. I'm going to write all that down again. Pete Clark says, I'm thinking going to Kingsland versus Birmingham on Thursday, weather permitting. If you're there, please give me a wave.
Hide.
Yeah. You can't miss Pete.
Plug.
You can't miss
What
him.
are you trying to say?
Oh, he's a bit of a unit, is Pete. Really, really good guy. He's going to have me for that next Monday.
Jolly.
Oh, Lawrence Rogers says
Yeah,
it's
it's the Wednesday,
Wednesday,
not- sorry, not
for the
Thursday, yeah.
semi-final. So Lawrence is just there correcting every one of our mistakes, and there have been many,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Is the official mistake?
Okay.
Mike's official. Me and Matt don't make mistakes.
No.
Our parents probably do.
Yes. Right. Okay, so I'm well aware that we did say that this week we was going to do the Premier League...
Do the Championship, yeah.
Championship, sorry, look through. So we will...
Do that next week.
We will do that next week, or not, given that there's the Speedway of Nations on, but we
And
we
just
will do our
quickly,
best.
Just very quickly, people's rider of the week this week.
Freddie Lindgren.
Get it in quickly on that.
Yeah, Freddie Link. Got to go for that after that.
2 for Freddie. Freddie's got a week. Lawrence was a teacher.
Lawrence was the teacher where I can't say what I'm thinking. Lawrence has pricked Freddie as well. Of course he has. And but Lawrence also said Team USA shouting again.
Lawrence obviously has a heavy involvement, doesn't he, with
Yes.
the Americans? So
And Pete's apparently a storage unit.
and another one for Freddie.
Yeah.
So I think he's got that. I mean, there's not many people that just breeze past Bartosz Schmarzlik, is there? So there you go. There you go.
Excellent.
It's going to be an interesting time for Birmingham Speedway this next couple of weeks. We've made these really, really good changes and the team looks really solid and it didn't work. We've mentioned a couple of reasons that we think that they didn't work. One thing I would like to say vis-a-vis Sam.
Yeah.
People have said that he's done nothing but make mistakes, and I don't think that's true. He's made I can't remember which matches now, but there's been 2 or 3 matches where he's made some tactical changes that were the right ones at the right time, and that possibly other people might not have done. That's Sam. He thinks out of the box a little bit, and he's experimented with Worrell being number 5. I think and hope he's a big enough man to go, I got that wrong.
Yeah.
And we'll change it back. So what I'm saying is there are a lot of people out there calling for his head because they can't call for Lawrence's head anymore.
There's always got to be there's always got to be a scapegoat, isn't there,
and that's what it is. It's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
The riders themselves have to take some responsibility here.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. And who are you going to replace him with anyway? Well, that's your answer, isn't it?
It's a silence, isn't it?
That's your answer. Dave Twine says, we need to go back to 3 tacky subs, T-he.
What does that mean?
Tactical substitute.
Tactical.
I think you could. There was a time when you could have pretty much. It's just that a rider could only take 1 tack ride, but anybody could take I think it was as many as you, as long as you were 6 points behind. I really miss those days. I'm going to come back. We've got time. I'm going to come back to one of my pet hates, right, about tactical substitutes.
The home team shouldn't use it.
The home team shouldn't be allowed a tactical substitute. It should only be there. Like how many times do we hear this sort of argument of it makes the sport look like it's a knockout? Mm-hmm. It does, doesn't it? It's a joker. You're playing your joker essentially. But I think if you turn around and say it's only for the away team, and the bona fide reason for that is to combat against home track advantage, I think that's fair enough, don't you? So I've been going on about that since 2007 probably. Craig Smith says, I used to love the black and white helmet double points tactical sub.
I liked it when you had to ride, when you had to come 15 metres to do it. I think that was better, because I think if you came from 15 metres behind to win a race, I think you deserved it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think starting on the line, I don't think that worked.
I mean, okay, is there a case for having tactical subs as they are now available to the away side, and the black and white if they want to go off 15 and do it that way? But you get double points obviously with the black and white.
Yeah.
So have both options makes much more of a tactical decision for your team manager to make.
Yeah, I liked it when you.
So if you've got the team manager's got those options, he can go off 15 and go for double points, whatever that rider scores, beating in that position is double part.
Because then obviously if you do get a rider,
you wouldn't do that at Leicester.
Yeah, if you do, well, the thing is, if you do get a rider that starts off 15 metres there, then their teammate has to be aware as well, because if they go into the last bend and they're in front and they don't realise the teammates behind them and they only get the 7 points instead of the 8, then the team manager's not going to be best pleased, is he? So,
no,
I have seen happen a few times.
I think that's not a bad that I just come up with a bad call.
Yeah,
it gives more, because there's not many decisions for team managers to make.
All the team managers have to do is just stand there with the programme board and fill it in.
Swapping reserves occasionally.
Yeah,
to get the best reserve in the best races and all that sort of thing. But that's about it, really. I think. So I'd quite like there to be a little bit more of a tactical thing going on. remember Graham Drury tried one year when he said you can pick any gates you like if you're 6 points behind, so you can go off gates 1 and 2. Do you remember that?
They did used to do that in the 70s, didn't they?
No, they used to be able to. They used to be able to, if you was behind, you used to be able to choose 1 and 3 or 2 and 4. But Graham Drury did the thing where you could try. Well, if you want 3 and 4, you can have 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Or 1 and 4 would be a great one.
Yeah.
So I quite like that. Top 5 to have only 2 rides. Somebody explain that one to me. It was the Knockout Cup used. Choose any gate one. That was it. The Knockout Cup. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. Strange, Oxford replaced Kerr with Kemp. Yes.
That was a very strange move, wasn't it? I think Lewis Kerr made them pretty
regret it.
Yeah, he did last night, certainly. Nearly did so.
He was on a mission, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's our esteemed producer over there trying to tell us to shut up.
Shut up and get out of here.
And go home. So, on that note, see you all next Tuesday when we'll be watching the Speedway of Nations together and not watching boring England. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.
Good night. Come on, England.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.